Isn't then the suspension of criminal proceedings in the country a violation of human rights according to the Constitution?
Well, you see, what I'm saying is that it is not stopping. What has happened is that where the matters are urgent, they are proceeding. Okay, let's get that correct.
Okay.
And they're proceeding in as far as possible where the courts have access to e-filing or online proceedings, they are actually doing so. The only issue is that this is not being applied across the board. So we want a situation where the judiciary is able to apply this across the board. Now, what will happen is that the judiciary then will have to face up to the fact that, you know, the finances to do this, do they have the ability to do it, and how quickly can they turn that around? What is happening, other than just court attendances, you have situations such as the lands registry, which is still closed.
Okay.
As we speak, it's going to be extended. A lot of lawyers practice in that sector. They are unable to complete their transactions because, you know, the registry is closed. And a lot of matters or a lot of titles are stuck either, you know, at the financing level, or banks cannot approve a loan if you had applied for one because they cannot, you know, verify that title. So other than the courts, there are other legal sectors that are actually quite severely affected.
All right. And in regard to, of course, the staffing aspect, and in the process when the dust will settle on the coronavirus pandemic, then the question is, will it not perhaps give the judiciary more piled up in terms of cases and an avalanche of continuous growing cases? And how will the judiciary perhaps be dispensing justice in regard to that within a short time frame for Kenyans to get justice?
What the pandemic has done has actually highlighted to us that it is possible to actually conduct hearings online, because we've seen it piloted in some courts. The second thing is that we have reached the point of no return with the judiciary. They cannot go back to the previous way of doing things. It is possible, so now they will just have to keep rolling it out and fast track it. Number three, what we've seen is that the judiciary has given a directive to the magistrates and judges to deliver pending judgments and rulings. And that is what we are seeing a lot of. We've seen Justice Nyakundi doing it in Malindi. We've seen Justice, there's the Court of Appeal judge is doing it. And this is quite, you know, it's quite effective. So what we are experiencing now is a situation where the judges have an opportunity to write their judgments and their rulings. We hope that it is going to happen across the board from all other courts, because quite a number of pending judgments still exist. So we hope that the judiciary will seize the opportunity. Also, remember, we had a situation where the Court of Appeal was hampered in terms of the judges, and some courts were not sitting, and it was the calendar was very, you know, very small in terms of accessing other stations. So now with the advent of technology, do we need more judges? That's another question we can ask ourselves, because then we have an opportunity to see that the courts can actually dispense justice using technology. However, maybe what they will need to do is get support staff or legal researchers to help you know, the judges and magistrates clear their workload faster.
All right. Asante sana, of course, I'm sure you're talking about the workload and what awaits the justice across the country in regard to the judiciary. And we'll be talking about the aspect of whether there can be a paradigm shift possibly post-COVID-19 on the digitization of the judiciary and the impact, of course, in regard to the sort of exogenous pressure piled up by the executive and the rejection of the judges, more than 40, who, of course, were approved by the Judicial Service Commission, and the concern that many Kenyans have in regard to access of these court proceedings in the country with regards to the restriction now through electronic platforms, and whether Kenyans are digital and whether that platform is available. We'll be coming back to you shortly after taking this story. We have another advocate here on the broadcast live in studio, and as we continue with the discussion.